surprising a lot of people with a long upper bracket run, maybe a little bit blessed with the bracket they had gotten, but also creating the opportunities themselves by beating Thieves most notably as we get ready for a square up in these two teams here.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, you only have to beat who's in front of you, right?
Correct.
That's the position you have to find yourselves in, and well, both these two teams would love to beat who is directly in front of them right now. Of course, some history on this one as well, Cammy on the opposite side. We've had that story for quite some time now, but it's a story that will continue to be sown. We've seen actually a little bit of trash between him and Insight there. They were kind of giving each other
strangers.
A little talking to.
Indeed the case. But a full circle story here for Boston. It's been nearly a full 365 days since this roster was formed, to the surprise of the entire community. And they continue to provide surprise after surprise as we get locked in for Vault Hardpoint. It's Movistar, Koi, and the Boston Breach. Let's get it on.
Let's see how things are going to break down. As I said, this matchup, it's so evenly matched when we have a look at the breakdown of the series and how it's going to run out. There's some good maps for both these two teams. Something we'll talk about maybe when the S&D comes around. About recently, Movistar have not been hot at that, so they would love to start this with a nice one to kick things off here on Vault. And I'm curious to see how it is going to work out. Like CleanX, as I said, but we've seen him on that flex. Are we going to see a little bit more SMG when it comes down to Vault? You would expect to see so. And when you pull that SMG out before, start a fry.
And there's a little bit of that level of, is it going to be a honeymoon period for Koi with Abe in the mix, with a couple of role swaps to be considered? Otherwise, will the tried and tested Boston team continue to find success? And so far, the story leans towards the latter. Snoopy 4-0. Awakening had a 3-0 start. And Purge just found his second death after a hot start of his own. So 22 playing 2 over 2P2. And all good things coming in doubles as Abe's able to clean things up over the back. Not quite able to find his second. And that leads to Boston trying to surround the front. Joe able to deal with both of his 2 kills. And that'll stabilize for Koi.
Yeah, big kills coming in from Joe. Makes everybody else's job just that little bit easier. Trying to hold it down towards his backside. Big push, big kill. And he gets taken down. This is a nice hold from Movistar. And realistically speaking, we see a nice start from Boston there. Picking up some decent time over towards V1. But this transition, very, very strong from Movistar. Now setting up some very good time.
And this is, I was going to say, an interesting moment here for CleanX. Again, talking about him picking up that extra AR when they need it. Is he familiar with the positionings and the timings to find the most success with that weapon? Right there, he gets a little bit caught. Maybe not in the most effective position with the AR. Insight over the cross from the pool. Does well to keep Koi very comfortable inside the hard point. Joe DeCease really hasn't had any action come his way in the last 45 seconds. He's just soaking up the hill.
Yeah, thankfully for the side of Boston, that was the case. It was a 5-sprint before he does eventually fall to Cammy. Good shots coming in from CleanX there, though. They are positioning and shot. Not under question in that specific gunfire whatsoever. They've had a decent debut, though. We've seen in the very first series that these guys played today. Very solid outing from Movistar Koi. I would say for Boston, you know, solid outing as well, but that map number 1 loss against Team War, some questions to be raised there.
Yeah, I think a little bit of like, it's getting the jitters out of touch. Yeah. The next 3 maps were pretty convincing for them. The Searcher's like a 6-4, and then it was pretty much a cleanup from there on out. As we head over towards one of the hotly contested hard points here in Black Ops 6, P3 on Vault. So far, Movistar Koi's done well to actually get the benefit of the majority of the first 30 seconds. Boston still being a little bit held over towards the middle of the map as Movistar will come back in, recontest, and find more time as they put pressure on the rotation as well.
After one of these gunfights, 50-50 is fine, but Snoopy gonna even those odds back in the favor now of Boston. Can he find another as well? That's 3 big kills from Snoopy at the exact right time. Rotation should be hit for Boston, albeit it is a 20-point deficit. Default very much under lock and key. Big push going to come here from the side of Movistar Koi through the middle of the map, but Snoopy still firing. Yeah, big, straight as an arrow.
Big shutdown. Also good assistance from Cammy on one side, and on top of that, Purge on the other.
Insight.
And, well, I think Purge, I don't know what that was, but his arrow was looking like he was hugging the wall. Hopefully there's not an issue on his side because, he is, there is something wrong with Purge right now. He's not moving. Neither is Cammy. And after what was a really solid start for Movistar Koi, it looks like we might be heading to the direction of a reset. That's indeed the case.
I shall pop myself down on this seat. And
we'll join you. Yeah. Should we pop some more Sabrina Carpenter into our ears?
Well, you know what? I was happy to leave it as a vibey little playlist, but
you were vibing.
If you want to out us, that's fine.
I did. I have no shame.
Zero. Absolutely. Sadly, I still do.
Well, you got to own it. If you're gonna drop it in the gym, you got to own it.
Oh, I was dropping it in the gym. It was a vibe.
Do you like how I've just forced you to own it right there, right then?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna have to now, aren't I?
You're welcome. Welcome. Welcome to Casting with Shift. This is what Jay gets the treatment of.
I'll get secrets alive on that.
Usually for me and Jay, it's just like I'll hit some movie reference from like the 1990s, and he's just like, "You do you, man." Like, I've got no idea.
Yeah. No, we've had a few of those. I can imagine when jumping in with Miles this week, I'll get a couple. Those references, only chance understands.
Correct.
We'll get there with it.
Correct.
We'll get there. No, but I think, if you had to think about that map in particular and how things started, pretty even. Like, yeah, okay, Movistar are in a good spot, but I think if you're Boston, you're in a nice position as well for P4, so things could have switched around relatively quickly, so a relatively even start. A statistic I did want to speak about, though, as we do have a small intermission here, is the fact that for Movistar, their S&D as of recent.
Say it. Just say it.
We were talking about it. They've lost 6 in a row, only won 1 of their last 11.
Yeah, and we heard it from Joe DeCeves when he was on the analyst couch after their win. They almost hit him with the straight, hard, cold question of, dude, you got to be honest, what's going on with your search and destroy? And he sat there and said, we still feel good about our map pool. I think, Koi fans are going to say, I don't want to see dealership ever again out of these guys. And to their fault, yes, 1 out of their last 11, but to their benefit, a number of those losses have been round 10s, round 11s, or maybe a round 9 here or there. And their one win did come into map 5 when they needed it. So there is a level of that, but it's still not as good as it was at the beginning of the year when we were looking at this, then Toronto Ultra, now Movistar Koi roster as one of the best in the league.
Yeah, and look, I suppose, not every single S&D is a map 5, but when they have gone to map 5s, they are the best map 5 team in the game.
Right? Yeah.
Still the first overall, even considering their S&D record over the last month or so. Has not been hot. It's been extremely cold, actually, Alan. It is the opposite of what it's been in Riyadh today. Hot.
How long were you sitting on that wordplay?
About 5 seconds.
I love that. Good off the cuff out of you. Softball, but we take it.
It's a softball.
No, I mean, it is interesting because, again, a lot of those map 5 stats come from so long ago because they either get the job done or and I don't know, is that like we have to go back and check. I'm sure Brian Stats is listening. He might be able to give me the information on Twitter. Is that just because Toronto Ultra continue to pick as Team A and not or whatever it is, or they pick the map 5 all the time, so when they get to map 5, like they're just cleaning up and they're always losing map 2s, like
now a lot of 3-1s. That very well could be. I think there's always something you can kind of pop into, but I think the top and bottom of it is they're still losing S&Ds and a lot of them.
That's fair. But let's talk about the vault, because we got a lot of Hacienda, and just to kind of at a glance, if you're going to label that as anything, that's Boston Playground. They love Hacienda, everything. But the vault opening Hardpoint is an interesting one. I feel like a lot of our top teams have defaulted towards trying to veto it out of the way, because you lose one rotation, you can lose the map. Like, things just happen where you don't necessarily account for one player to go astray. But throwing, I think, this into the mix is compelling, because really the rest of the map pool for both these two teams has, like, okay, this is a clear-cut favorite or a clear-cut veto for both. This feels like a little bit of a neutral square-up, outside of the fact that Toronto maybe has found more success in Hardpoint overall than Boston. It's easy to say after the last month and a half of the calendar, CDL year, because they were just winning 2-3-5s everywhere. But is this a map that you look at for Boston, say, you win this one and this whole series just becomes yours? Because that's kind of what it feels like.
It very well could. And I'm in the same breath of that, obviously, the specific stats on the S&D from the side of Movistar. You look at Boston, and we'll talk about their Hardpoint, but let's kind of wrap it up. They've only won 3 of their last 10 in Hardpoint.
Yeah, good point. Yep.
That's not great either, of course. So that that kind of weighs up the series in a certain sense. Like, you're expecting certain modes to kind of go a specific way. If that is the case, then, well, are we relying on the control to help decide this series? Like, is that where we're going to sit at? Yeah. We'll find out as we do get over towards map number 3, hopefully imminently, when we do get things up and running and we can get map number 1 underway. Yeah. I think the other point, just to kind of piggyback a touch on that Hardpoint Boston conversation, and I think, again, I'll be the first one to admit, and I'd kind of put my foot in my mouth a little bit, I was really kind of discrediting the Boston success that they were finding in the trail half of the regular season. And then they get all of a sudden into the culmination of the year, and it's, again, the same issues that we continue to see in Hardpoint, but they've become so complete in search and control that they're running through some of the top teams, including your Thieves, including, your Optics, a couple of map wins versus your Vancouvers. Like, they're in the position to fight versus the top dogs because of the prowess they've shown in the 2-3-5. It's just confusing, I think, to the eye test to see success in those modes and then not have it at all in Hardpoint. And again, just to further attest towards the point of Hacienda, they may well have lost, 7 of their last 10 Hardpoints, but their Hacienda stats are still the number 1 in the game. Correct. It's important. And the map set does have Hacienda in it, map number 4. Hacienda Hardpoint, of course, we do have somewhat of a Hacienda sandwich for the series. A little vault to start things off.
Kind of a reverse Hacienda sandwich. All the Hacienda goodies in the middle.
No, because I would say, what do you call a sandwich? It's what's in the filling, right?
Do you? Yeah. I think a lot of people classify
a bread sandwich, right?
Well, I think a lot of people would say they select and choose their sandwich by, like, you start with the bread option first. Like, the bread is arguably the most important part.
Listen,
in a lot of ways.
Whatever bread you have, what the filling is what you call a sandwich.
I suppose.
You wouldn't call it a hearty Italian sandwich.
Would you not? Wait.
No.
Pause.
No.
I feel like every place you go to, you could go bread or yeah.
Turkey and ham.
Unless it was an Italian sandwich, whereas pepperoni, salami, and
yeah, I know, but then that's into linking the two together. Whereas these are different maps.
Oh, fair. Okay. If
it was a five map Hacienda, I'm all with it. I don't want modes we're playing, but hey.
This is what happens when.
Don't you try and do this, man?
I know it. I'm keeping you on your toes. I've got an Americano Express lane into my soul right now. It's just so funny because I know a lot of the Western audience is like, dude, it's 6 p.m. Like,
yeah, they're chilling. And once again, Europe is still asleep.
Well. Yeah. Maybe waking up a little bit. I got to say that the Movistar Koi fan base traveled.
Solid, yeah.
Those boys that have always flexed the strength in the North flags are here, and they are getting boisterous, and we will match that same energy. Shall we try it again, friends? Why not? Let's get our toes dipped in the sand and get into the vault. Hard point for our second attempt, where Boston, coming off the opening breakoff, looks solid for the first hill, but it was Movistar Koi looking really good on P2, and now the script has flipped as all four will fall immediately as Movistar Koi will win the opening breakoff.
Yeah, last time around, as you mentioned, kind of Boston come out flying. P1 wasn't too bad, but P2 did very quickly turn on its head. Joe Deceives now finding two to kick things off, and was it just a case for Movistar Koi to warm themselves up into this one? Nice stop.
Yeah, second live's good though for Boston. Abe, new boy up, making his way into the hard point, but not having the coordination with the team. Only sees him find one. Cammy, the last one left alive. Extends the play nicely to the front hallways, but Abe gets the shutdown and will at least keep the P2 side of the map safe for Koi.
All right, similar setup. Joe Deceives now going to set himself up a little bit more aggressive. He was the one caught in the point, and well, the reason you don't want him there, he can do this outside of it. Awakening on the cross, should be getting caught by the guy inside of the point, but no, Joe, once again, 7 and 2. He's got his ARs now to cover over the pool side. Purge will find something, but nothing is able to stop Joe Deceives right now. 8 and 2 to kick things off.
Yeah, good look as well over to Awakening. Couple of shots, able to make that life very simple for Kleenex, and Joe Deceives is doing it all. He is flying, he is frying, and eventually runs into too many breach members as Cammy actually put some pressure on the backside at spawn. So yes, the first 30 seconds, good for Movistar. The Boston threatening for a break. Surrounding the hill has Abe essentially feeling like, come out with your hands up, and he will come out. Not with hands up, though. Abe finds a critical kill inside off the long spawn, keeps him safe. And how about the follow-up for Movistar Koi? A flawless start.
Movistar gets spawned out, Boston on the close side, but they can't get rid of Abe. He's found 3 inside of the point. The rest of the team were there to pick up the pieces. Unbelievable stuff from Movistar Koi. Find themselves in a better position than they were already in before the reset. Now over towards P3. Boston will be thinking to themselves, right, okay, we need to get something going right now.
For real.
Points is not good enough.
No, it is not, and they're losing time here at this very mixy P3, while also losing out on the rotation towards the P4 side of the map. Purge clearing a little bit of space. Finally, Boston able to accrue some time. Snoopy keeps the middle of the map safe, and now you can actually, you can get your SMGs working on potentially an early route. Joe Deceives keeps the first intention safe. Purge trying to follow, not able to get the lineup, and things will stabilize. Boston's still on the hill, but Toronto's still owning the left side of the minimap.
For Toronto, well, Movistar, sorry, for the sake of this map entirely, after you have that good of a start, you're happy to really sit in on those spawns if you need to. That's cool. And Boston are going to get some time, albeit some really good time over towards P3. I think they maybe been a little bit overzealous for sitting back as far as they did, especially if you can't contain Purge. It's a big gunfight win. P4 is looking pretty much under lock and key. I mean, you kind of take that, but at the same time, probably giving Boston a little much.
Let's be honest, to the eyes of the critic, there is something to be said about that P3 from the side of Movistar Koi. Boston on the other side and their Breach fans are looking at that saying, hey, okay, we had a slow start and we're now right back in this game and have a threat early to break P4. Abe with the shutdown, though, just in the corner. No cares, no problems. Gets 3. 12-9 start. Rocking it with Joe Deceives from Movistar Koi, and they are off to the races to 100 points.
Lights out from Joe so far, 16-7. Not even a rotation finished. Incredible work from him. And as mentioned as well, Abe has been there to pick up some really solid kills for the squad. Kami is about to find his ex-teammate. Wasn't for the car bomb that comes through. Purge is there to find another one, but once again, Abe left on his own, and he just needs himself and his armors. Incredible work, 7 in a row. Movistar Koi with a very, very solid lead heading into the second rotation.
And a Hellstorm.
Yeah.
And a Hellstorm. And they're already off P4 and into P1 again. Abe is still cooking on this spree, making the life of our observers really easy. You can just say, just give me number 2 and hold it there. How long can he find this? As Awakening is trying to hit a pinch. Abe in a perfect spot, good discipline. Take the attention forward. Not able to find the rest of Snoopy, who takes the secondary challenge. And wow, what a call that is for Boston. They get into contest, but the lead is still a significant one for Movistar.
Yeah, Boston really did need this time. And they're getting good opportunities to be allowed to do so. It feels like Movistar are the ones kind of dictating this map, but Boston are saying, right, okay, well, when you give us our chance, we're going to pick up every single second we can. They'll find themselves around 60 behind. P2 rotation is going to be there just about. Their Insight finds himself in a deep spawn. The rest of the team here with him now as well. We'll need to clear out, though. The pressure will be there from side of Boston Breach, but Movistar Koi in a good spot for P2.
Yeah, and I was going to say, another moment where you look at Boston and you say, if you were to do the job of counteracting what has been good money hills for Movistar, it's do the job on the neutral hardpoint. So far, P1, P3 has been great for Boston. Chance to try to thread the needle, moving on into P2, and they will be able to get Snoopy in with a little bit of assistance. Spawns are still close, though, for Movistar. Nice long-range shots from Insight. Joe following up inside the hard point, has Snoopy weak, and that's enough for Kleenex to finish things off, and it's quickly Koi back into the P2.
And this is a big 40 seconds potentially now. The thing is, with Movistar, they still had presence over towards the van and coming in from the color spawn. If you're Boston, you have spawned way out, and you've got to go into 4 guns that are up and ready to deal with you. Purge, big gunfight win. Snoopy was there to help out. He finds a second as well. The next in aim, to pick up the pieces. That's 20 seconds uncontested. 20 seconds more, still off there. My goodness me, if Abe is shooting like this, I mean, what, 21-13 from him. Joe slowed down a little bit. Abe very much picking up the rents.
Yeah, Pep in his steps, brings off the diving board, already looking for some pressure on rotation. How about these young guns, these former Stallions members just taking over at the top level? 22-13. Little wiggle, little wag. If he gets Awakening there, throw your PC out the freaking window. Unreal stuff. But Boston still in towards a little bit of time at P3, trying to keep themselves alive.
Clear next to the 5 spree eventually will fall. Great transition from 2 to 3 from him. Pressure still there, but for all this talk, it feels like we've been talking about Movistar a lot. It's a 50-point game, right?
Yes, exactly.
That are being really resolute, very gritty in their approach yet. Over towards this first map. Vault is one of those, though. It's so mixy at times, and you can just pick up 20 or 30 here and there if you find a 4 dead. Yeah, right. You work with that.
Yeah, Boston's doing what they have to do to counteract the success that Movistar has had at P2 and P4, the money hills. I'll give you this, though, and I'll wager the house on it. If Boston doesn't win a P2 or a P4, they're not going to win this map. Like, they just have to win one of those 2 hard points, especially upcoming as we look over towards the map and see P4 about to unlock. And who's spawning up? It's Movistar Koi. So again, 50-point game like you mentioned, but it could quickly get out of hand here if Boston can't manage a break.
Inside should be here for the cuts as well. Should be the spawn towards the back. Inside for 2, looking for Snoopy. Awkward gunfight. Snoopy eventually does get taken down, but once again, these big money hills, it's always Movistar Koi there first. Abe 28-16, everybody doing their job right now. Him and Joe have been lights down every single time we go with Abe stunned up. No cover, does not matter. Eventually will drop, the pressure starting to come through. Boston need to start doing something shortly and just cannot find that final kill.
Yeah, but they do get an opportunity here to kind of spawn a little bit closer towards mid, but Abe fills the gap so beautifully. Oh man, there's so much to say about the maturity of these younger players. 31-17, and Abe is barking. Opportunity here for Movistar Koi to put the game out of reach.
10 seconds remaining on P4, and that is all sewn up here for the side of Movistar Koi. They're going to find themselves around 40 away. At the time we get into another rotation, you remember that Hellstorm he got a hold of as well? Still
hanging it.
Hasn't had a need to use it. Everybody literally firing Hellstorms out of their Jackals right now. All right, but Joe Deceives, this is incredible work from them. P1 on offer. Let's see if Boston can do their typical, get some of that scrappy point. But that lead that was 50 is now 100 and growing. CleanX has the SMG out there, looking to put this one to bed.
Yeah, very comfortable across the board for Movistar Koi. And as mentioned, Boston have done a nice job of keeping themselves in the game by surviving through some key moments on P1 and P3, but struggling to find rotation success towards our money hills. They would have to have that here in the tail end of P1. 220 to 103. Comfortable days looking like it for Movistar Koi, and they even got Abe, again, playing the long game for the new rotation. I'm telling you, in terms of like passing the eye test, he's got the exact role that this Movistar Koi needs to play off of. An objective-focused entry SMG who's 31 and 19, holding down hardpoint time. It allows Joe to do what he wants to do. This is everything you could possibly want for the Movistar Koi system.
I mean, I think if you think way about the last time that a big objective SMG player came in, it reminds me of Hixie.
Like, Hixie. Yeah.
But Abe's putting up huge numbers right now alongside of it as well. No disrespect to Charlie, of course. There's two coming in from the Hellstorm. This one, he's done and dusted, Al.
Feels that way. So outside of a very miraculous P3 and a better P1 the next time around, this was all Movistar Koi. Controllers are already down for Boston. And now we could do some good, diligent service here to talking about Abe, because and maybe it's not even just Abe. Let's talk a little bit deeper about what that Ultra system was when they had to fill an emergency sub, beans out, Mercules in. You start to think, okay, does the kid have it? Yes, but also, what does the back end look like of this Movistar Koi organization? Can they fit a player in seamlessly and quickly step up their game? They did with Mercules. They are now with Abe as well. And I know they didn't put up the most incredible numbers in their first series, but the fact of the matter is he pops off here, and this Movistar Koi team with a brand new player with like maybe a week or so of practice is looking to get into tomorrow, or not even tomorrow, but into the playoff bracket.
I mean, how far back do you want to go with
Let's go all the way back. Let's go all the way back.
You think to yourself, like, when the inception of the CDL came around, they were the first team to just start signing hella players.
Yeah, 10, I think, Modern Warfare 2019.
Yeah. You're thinking of some of that Heretics roster. They were kicking around in there. You're thinking of some of the European talent that was there. They were all there. You think of Abe. You think of Joe Deceives kind of coming in a certain kind of way, of course, from a different route, but they're bringing him up in a good way as well. But then you think of Hicks, you think of Scrap.
Yep, immediately.
No, like, as far as nurturing talent, nobody else has done it like Ultra.
That's so factual. Because it is one of those things, like, of course, you have your stars, but you also have your staples that have been there since essentially day number one.
I mean, these guys, right? I mean, yeah. Look, for me, as a European Call of Duty guy, obviously we knew inside CleanX all the boys were very good players.
Yeah, back in the Singularity days.
To see how much they've raised their level, especially like towards Cold War, like the talent selection. You know, and I'm going to give a real big shout out to the staff on there as well, and some of the staff who aren't there anymore. You think about Marky B and the guy that guy's been around Europe for a long time. I've known Marky longer than I've known my wife, right? This guy knows Call of Duty. He's been around a long, long time. And the talent selection from everybody in that entire organization, tip-top stuff.
Great stuff. Definitely proves a point. But we're going to send things off to a brief break before we start discussing and breaking down what's to come in map number 2. Don't go far. We've got more EWC featuring Black Ops 6 right after this.
stay. It was you that put me in. Promised me that we'd be okay. All of your lies I was believing. You were there most of the time, but that was never good enough for me. Had me going out of my mind, had me going round like crazy. Why you gotta act this way? Why is there always a struggle for you to let me go? You got me like crazy. Like you were always right and I was always wrong. Crazy. I'm on the concrete now. I can feel it all around. A chronicle of people caving in. Under the pressure of the death temptress, I can see all of fumbling. I see the storm give out. Umbrella weather, not a single cloud. I can see the storm give out. Why are you so tired? All the time. Can't see no more. Can't see no more.
lost in this moment, long enough that we lose focus. Wanna feel your breath upon me. I won't forget you in my story. Give you space. That is what you need. I'm hoping that this time out they won't just betray. I wanna chase you out of the cup.
Welcome back. I know it's been a day full of delays, but we're back and ready to go for the action here. As a recap, well, Movistar Koi, comfortable. Map number 1 after they really just dominated the vault by way of the Money Hills. And now we start to look at where Boston will start to really kind of wake up a little bit, as it's a triple Hacienda for the search control and the second hardpoint.
They do indeed love Hacienda. Has been their go-to over, well, the entirety of the year. Number 1 team on it. Those come down to that hardpoint specifically. We'll delve into some more of the stats, but I think the big one here is that in the sense that Movistar have really been struggling to search and destroy, you're going to a comfortable pick here for Boston. They've got to be feeling very nice about their chances of evening this series up.
Yeah, they should beat 10-4 on the map, best in the league. They also have the number 1 opening duel win percentage as well. And they're playing up against, as we kind of talked about a little bit, a Movistar Koi team that has really struggled in map 2s in particular. One of their last 11 search and destroys, their only win coming in a map 5 affair.
You need to find one sooner rather than later. I think a fair point to talk about, like we kind of half mentioned it off stream, was like the sense that I know it's a very different iteration of any sort of Ultra Movistar roster, but at the same time, these guys, or at least a half of this roster, were part of the best S&D team all year.
Yes.
Liesco.
And at the beginning of this year.
Yeah.
It was them and Carolina that were like the 2 top until we got off of the holiday break and into the core part of the spring when FaZe started to wake back up and search. But at the beginning of the year, it really was an opening that really was dominated by the conversation of what Carolina and this Movistar Koi roster was able to put together early. But Hacienda, as mentioned, a linchpin of success for Boston. Seeing if they can tie up the series quickly and then get their way over to one of their favorite controls, which will be, again, Hacienda.
Definitely the Hacienda sandwich. We're definitely sticking with that.
All right, that's fine.
Over to B we go. Trying to have a look here. You are Boston. Well positioned here though for Movistar. They're in a really nice spot to deal with this.
Now the thing about it is, this is Boston trying to almost wager that Koi will come through with all that damage has been tallied. And well, Jodeci's finds the first. The Cammy pinch is shut down, and then you've got Abe quick to reset the energy with a fast double to flawlessly give Koi the opener.
I mean, there's just, I think I kind of mentioned like the roster that did have that good S&D year and have been notoriously good at S&D. They've got to snap into life at some stage, right? It can't go on.
I think there's a level of like, looking over the last part of the season for the Toronto Ultra squad, they were really struggling at finding first bloods and giving themselves any advantages whatsoever. It felt like in a lot of the searches. Like even the maps that they were winning, or like losing in round 10s, round 11s, it just never really felt like they were playing with numbers. So maybe you add Abe to the mix and he can be like your go-to first blood guy. This time it's Cammy at long range over the top of the window finding Kleenex, and Movistar Koi will be left kind of to their own devices at B as the pinch is already on the way.
I'm going down.
Oof.
Yeah, they're in a difficult spot though. Abe needs to find more than one. Gonna pressure out here. They know Snoopy is lingering, but now he's got the info. He's gonna back on down. The rest of Boston should kick into gear.
Well, this is the thing though. Abe can still float around the rock. Finesse his life while Joe just holds Snoopy at range, but the pinch is on the way. Awakening right there to pick up with the pistol. And now it's just down to Abe. Good prediction on the first 2 players. Decent attempt, but just too much to deal with. And Boston have a quick and resounding response.
Very little he can do about that. Very little indeed. I think it's just that, I mean, Snoopy kind of plays his life correctly. I wonder if they needed to maybe get a little bit more aggressive on that one, just to maybe clear something out. But it's tough in that situation. You just got to let what comes to you, try and guide you in a certain way.
Yeah, I don't know if you do anything too different there, because at the other front, like if you back off the rock, if you're Abe and play the hallways, then you've got to retake your own site again without the numbers. It's just, tough situation. Made difficult by the opening first blood from Cammy. And so we quickly get to a 1-1 in pretty convincing defensive form. And with trophy systems, Boston are going to give an initial look over towards A. Defense flooding through closed hallway, though. Not sure if Snoopy sees any of the dust from the floorboards or hears any of that. He's moving quickly as if he has some sort of an indication that, yep, he can play forward. And a first blood again goes the way of Boston with the plant to follow.
Bit of bad time for Kleenex. That goes for the check just as a player sneaks around the stairs. Now a 4v3 situation. Inside needs to find something here. If you get something towards the back well, then all of a sudden you're in a position to maybe cause an issue. But the biggest of wakes. will be the first to find him. That will be another round for Boston.
Another really convincing one on top of that. And again, it does start off the fact of you get the trophy down, no nades are coming in. I don't know, again, if Snoopy through connector gets any indication of the hard push that Movistar Koi had through Fireplace, but he is on his horse, ready to go towards that patio staircase. And then those shots from Awakening to make sure the pitch stays safe with the follow-up inside connector is absolutely beautiful. So, great round there for Boston, quickly up 2-1.
Two relatively clean rounds. Puts them in a good position. What's the play now going to be for Movistar? What's the adaptation? So your big hit over towards B. It was kind of a square up, the round that you won. This time around, they're not going to remotely square up over towards this A side. This should be free. If you are Movistar Koi, you can get this one down, no problem.
Yeah, and this is going to be a post plant that's mostly leaning towards connector and the backside of fences with where CleanX is positioned. You really don't want to get too far away from him. Boston going to try to set up their retake from the front. Nade's already trying to push back some of the AR positions, but Joe DeSeves finds first blood. Changes the focus. Snoopy quick to follow up on the damage. 3v3. Big win over the middle of the map, but traded by Joe. 2v2.
They haven't really got an eye on where CleanX is. They'll have a good idea. Well, this is 2 time. Not necessarily against either here. And the moment checking the bomb, is the pressure going to come? But yeah, he's just dipping and diving. CleanX not being challenged. There ain't no way Snoopy wins this one. Movistar will tie things up.
Ooh.
Like that, huh?
Yeah, why not? A little ego at the end? Yeah, why not? And there's a moment in there where you kind of see Snoopy, after he gets that elimination over towards the backside of fences, looks like he wants to try to climb the vines again, but I don't think he fully got the regen. And the last thing you want to do is pop your head up at 1 HP. So yeah, it's like a moment of confusion of what they want to do after that battle. And again, you can see it, like CleanX able to push him off. There's Snoopy on the corner. And I don't know if there's a miscommunication of, are you going to hop it? Are you not? Are we playing for team shots? A little bit confusing, but CleanX cleans things up nicely for the 1v2.
Going to be a hit through the middle of the map yet. On the side of Boston Breach. Movistar Koi, I mean, this is a square up again. These kind of rounds mostly went Movistar's way.
Love this. What a route from Abe. Perfect timing, perfect read. Purge just keeping it honest, though. And
that's fine.
The mature play. Get back, just play your defensive side of the map.
But that's fine. That means heads are being turned. They can't be as fluid in this attack as they would have liked to be, and it all falls apart. I mean, it's not necessarily that Abe has done a great deal there, apart from just immediately distract. One on flank, somebody turns. Something else is not being watched. The setup ain't there anymore. Kami, very little he can do. 1 versus 4.
And that's just something we haven't seen.
Fundamentals.
You know, we haven't seen Toronto Ultra do anything like that. And that's what they're looking at, saying that we're missing. Like, we don't want our top Slayer, Joe DeSeves, to be the guy who's going into possible 1v2s for first bloods all the time. We want him to be the cleanup guy. So you put Abe under the responsibility of go do what you see, kind of call your own play. And like you mentioned, it just opens up everybody else to do what they want to do more naturally to what their roles would be. So clean stuff, 3-2 upper Movistar.
This is the kind of search that they want to see. Nice clean rounds. Still a very tight game. Boston now, what is going to be the catalyst to try and get around underneath your belt? Well, not challenging that. Abe's going to find 2, but this is going to be an absolute massacre.
Unreal.
He 3, and all of a sudden, it is a 1 versus 2. Purge trying to get out, and that one is done. 3 from Abe. Are you kidding me? Having a hell of a series here.
What a series from Abe. And I know we were kind of looking at it, and candidly we were talking in our group chat about, like, what did Abe really impact in his first series? Numbers weren't high, but you could see the role he was trying to pull off. It does feel like he's more connected with what Joe and what CleanX want to do. It's not as much of Abe is in first into a 1v3 and then his teammates follow up. It's he is in there as part of the play. Saw it to the Hardpoint. We're seeing it a lot here in the search, and then the individual ability for him to take over outside open hall. Unbelievable.
Just enabling each other. I think that's a thing. Joe's been able to step it up as well. I mean, we've seen the start of that Hardpoint was incredible, but this one is far from done. Boston will have a run back into this, no question. And that round might well be over towards it. That bomb will go down. Movistar very happy to go on this retake. The next towards this backside, just looking for anybody who is going to overextend. Tight setup here from Boston. What can they do with?
Yeah, but it's all tight on the low ground, and Toronto, or pardon me, Movistar have now seen there's no one up top of the window, so you know that you're taking these fights down low. Here comes the battle. Snoopy, stun check, does land. Has to keep his head on a swivel, though, as all of a sudden, Movistar Koi is hitting from every direction at the same time. Oh, Abe, how do you get that prediction? Snoopy gets one and gets away. Insight immediately hops for the defuse. Abe, big ask. Can you try to keep your teammate safe? No, he doesn't. And Snoopy, in what is technically a 1v3, is going to secure it for Boston, plus find the final kill. How about that from Snoop?
Incredible work. Just finds the one in the middle, and as soon as they don't see him down low, they know where he's coming from, but that's all very well. The window child is a difficult one to deal with the best of times, and when Snoopy is literally just showing you his head, absolutely nothing you can do about this. Yeah, I mean, Insight gets deleted. Great shots coming in from Snoopy. Still hard work to do, and does it with brutal efficiency. And that's the run that Boston really did need.
Yeah.
What, you 5-2 down?
Yeah.
We've seen comebacks like that today.
Yeah, a couple hours ago. But regardless, the 1v2 countered by the 1v3 of Snoopy. Nades being cooked up towards top fire hall. No one's home, though. And how about this? Different look here for Movistar. They've got Insight creating some noise at A. Everyone else is stacked up, waiting for a time on the clock to hit, and Insight finds one. And he gets two. What a play from Insight. He's just supposed to be a distraction, and now all of a sudden Boston are going to be like, well, what do we do here? It's 2v3, we got to post planet B.
I mean, that's just everything you want him all. Insight just distracting, staying alive at that stage. Even if he dies as that bomb's going down, yeah, okay, you've done your job. To find two, miraculous, and now Boston haven't got a clue. Movistar set up, yeah, it's just so simple. But big hats off to Insight. Incredible work from him. He finds the two on the opposite side of the map, and that is the round pretty much.
Yeah, he's just not supposed to do that.
No.
Clean. It's been good. It really has been. I know that you look back at that series versus Falcons and you say, maybe not as convincing as you'd like, but whatever they've worked on and talked through over the last couple of hours is really coming to life here versus a very resilient Boston team. Again, you talk about map number one. It's a back and forth affair. Movistar Koi doing a better job on the hard points that really matter, the money hills as we call them. That eventually leads to a blowout map. This is a back and forth affair until really a couple of takeover moments on individuals. And now you're looking at the potential of a 6-3. Boston have to find 3 in a row, and they're going to do so at least initially by trying to get an A plan off.
Still thinking about it. Next now. Only RC, bit of information. A little bit of a delay on the plant, if anything. Just slowing things down. Joe Deceive's in a good spot now, and I think Boston have, well, been lured into having to take their time here. Hasn't mattered, though. The bomb has gone down 4v4.
Oh, Kleenex some trouble. Has the pistol out. Couple of peck shots. Moving back over. Has Cammy in his sights. Can't be followed up, though, by Abe at range. Boston still hanging on for now. Insight. Nades being tossed. Has Snoopy getting his gun up in the corner. Does he expect, again, to play outside the lines? Doesn't make a difference. He pops up, finds the kill just down to Joe. Or would have to be a 1v2, and he's already been tagged, and there's not a lot of time to play with. It's like Boston should extend the map another round at least.
That's tough because Insight over towards the well, that's a great position for him to be in on the retake. But it's difficult when the rest of the team aren't. You want to pinch all together. It's hard when the other side aren't really doing a great deal. He's the one trying to then make the play. Doesn't see the guy in the corner. If he finds one pick there, leaves it a 1v1, yeah,
sure, different story. Yeah.
Just the one would have been good enough, but I think we can allow Insight maybe a little bit of respite there after the previous round.
That's fair. Also just kind of unfortunate that you get caught on the other side with a pistol out. You don't really get a good gunfight there. It's just, kind of tough. But credit to Boston. Keep the post-plant dynamic, not just bottling up. And now Movistar Koi trying to close out the map by way of the attack. Haven't really seen this look too much from Movistar. Default stun up top towards patio. Kleenex going to use that as saying, okay, you haven't connected with anybody. I can take this space by office. And now it's just about if you keep Kleenex scaled deep towards the defense, what do you find? Door pops. Kleenex says thank you very much for the intel and the first blood.
Gets out as well. That's important. And now all of a sudden, if you are Boston, you're saying Kleenex is in our spawn. Whereabouts could he be? Where's he moving? Who's going to find him? Trader's there. Well linked up, actually. The side of Movistar. Oh. It's not going their way, though. Cammy with the big 2. This one may well have flipped on its head. Cammy had to find that second and does so.
35 on the clock. Looks like Joe is going to just kill the noise, create a little bit of doubt, and then eventually play for a B plant. Problem is, that's the exact same timing that Boston are going to look to clear this. Unless, no, he's going to get caught planting. No worries there. 5-3 curse? Question mark? Well,
could be the way.
shall we do it?
I think when you heard Joe, he said that we've been losing a few of these round 11s.
A few.
Doesn't necessarily being the best in that sense. Let's see how things are going to shake out. Round 11 records. Relatively tight. 8-7 for Ultra over the year. 3-5 for Boston. A little bit more experience for Ultra, of course. But an experience that leads to a positive outcome. Is that going to be the case this time?
Exactly. That's been the hindrance towards map 2s from Movistar Koi. Snoopy 10-5. Couple of tags. There's both corners. Stun has some help. And wow, he just continues to fight off of his own stun. Second one off the reset. Abe really can't chow this. And we're going to go to a 3v3 as Purge was cleaned up on the other fight up top.
That's all right for Movistar, though. They backed them down. Position of Abe is, well, okay, just sitting ready. You don't necessarily move here, but very little information to be gained by any position that Movistar have set themselves up on, and yeah, they just juked them out here. There's an automatic retail back over towards A. It is free. I think all the players are up towards the B side. To be fair, though, Movistar are not far away. Even with this bomb going down, they're in a position to retake.
Couple of pot shots from Cammy, pushes off 2 of the defenders. Abe has not left this corner in the mid-courtyard. Now he's hopped the wall. He's going to clear off the top window. Once again, Movistar Koi are going to realize that Boston are not here. How much time are you going to waste trying to find them? Big first onto Snoopy. Crossfire setup also keeps the trade from being found, and now it's just down to Giga. 1v3. Has the bomb to play off of. First check, has Abe, but not cleanly. Able to take the player off the bomb. Pistol out, finds the second. Does he get the full reset? The chase, it's on for Joe, and he's able to clean it up with just enough time to get back for the defuse. Round 11 win for Movistar Koi, but Awakening almost went galactic.
Oh my word. That woke me up.
I'll say.
That is a terrifying moment for Movistar, but one that they will take. Their first search and destroy win in quite some time. And that is a moment that may well define the series. The last time they won a search and destroy in a competitive environment was the 23rd of May. Poof! They just closed it out 6-5 and have themselves in the lead, 2 up in this series.
Unbelievable scenes right now. Movistar Koi put themselves in position to be our final team to qualify for the upper bracket, or the only bracket, I suppose I should say. Boston looking to fight back. They've got the Hacienda Control as we send things to a break. Don't go far. We'll be right back. you beautiful people, as we're jumping on into the mix. Welcome back. Welcome back. We're back. Here, just to give you guys caught up on the action, as things over on the Bravo stream have wrapped for the day. And, well, with that, it came with some electricity. If you missed the next time, but they were breaking this down. Heretics defeat FaZe Clan in a 250-248 banger, where FaZe were down like 230 to about 100 points. FaZe start to battle back, but no, in the end, the local crowd a little bit too strong, as we get ready to go and see who our fourth and final team will be to qualify for the playoff bracket. Ship with Ton. Apologies for the opening right there. I thought my microphone was muted.
Oh, well, good. You know, it's lit. It's lit.
And
but I mean, the Heretics have brought over a contingent. In fairness, the fans are out in true force.
In force, yep.
And it's great to see. The Europeans are passionate, man. We love some team sports.
I hear that.
More about it.
I hear that. We're good to go. I hear myself now.
Excellent.
I couldn't hear myself at the beginning. I thought I was muted, so I probably sounded like a bubbling fool.
We need to be able to hear ourselves because, candidly, as people who speak for a living, we do love the sound of our own voices.
I actually hate the sound of my own voice.
That's fine.
It's just good to know that I'm not screaming the entire time, which I'm prone to do. So that was an awkward opener, but it's also 2:30 in the morning, so let's lock in. Let's get ready to go.
Oh, well, you went locked in before?
I was totally locked in before. Almost as locked in as Toby is right there on the last seat of the Koi side here.
And well, so they should be at this stage. 2-0 up in this series. They look in control. They really do.
Yeah.
I think, you know, we talked about Hacienda and how that is strong for Boston right now. Koi look far too strong for Boston, full stop.
Feels that way. The only real kind of caveat to that point is, it's a control on Hacienda, which Boston like. The other side of that, though, is Movistar Koi have not played Hacienda Control in a long time. It's been like their hard veto. Maybe they've played it once in a blue moon, but they've not played it a lot since the map was introduced into the pool. So
I wonder, in that sense, that the fact that it has been banned out so often for them, is it a case they have been putting in some big-time work on it? Have they looked to maybe get that pool a little bit bigger?
Or they just didn't feel good about it with their last roster, and Abe says, yo, boys, I got this. We'll find out. It will be Boston on the opening offense, and some decent success here early as Snoopy will climb the vines and get some established pressure through the A zone. Movistar Koi going to take the space, give it to them over through Fireplace, but Boston have an opportunity to kind of play with the map.
Yeah, this one will transpire. Awakening Code just trying to set a line out here. Get a little bit of progress over towards here whilst they're at it. Movistar will get a jump back into the point, though. Joe to see this one. Right, yellow card.
I'll say. I don't know if you've been paying attention to the social media webs, though, Mr. Christopher Tunn, but there's been a lot of talks about the good old GAs. Shout out Dan Ghosty. If you haven't seen that yet, go check it out. But Joe Deceives gives us a little bit of a bobble, a little bit of a wiggle, and now it's a 23 playing 23. Boston working out of the spawn trap pretty nicely, but only 35 seconds on the clock.
Kami doing well, though. In the middle of the map. Abe, though, putting himself in the position, not being able to make the most of it. And now, all of a sudden, this is the first time that we've really seen Boston in a position to do something with their map control. It's a bit further up. It's a bit more well-established. Joe needs to find this kill if he can, and does. Pinstripe kill feed will work out just about to the side of Movistar Koi. They can get themselves closer. One tick in over towards B, 30 seconds to go. Boston still with an opportunity here.
Indeed the case. Double stack is now in. Movistar Koi working their way back and over towards Tin, though, as Cammy will be stunned, and is just trying to predict where this contest is going to come from. Deals with the first nicely, but inside up top deals with it. Purge trying to clear up that patio position. Good patience. Reaps the reward of that patience, and now an opportunity for a second tick, if not more, to be done here at the B zone with Movistar Koi pushing forward, looking for spawn traps, and you've even got a player on A at the moment, so this is kind of two things at once right now for Boston.
Sometimes when that is the case, though, are you over-focusing on two fronts? Not necessarily the case here, though, as Boston will get B locked in. That's allowed Movistar Koi a little bit more presence over towards the A side. They have set themselves up. One player to push towards Garage was CleanX. He gets taken down. Joe Deceives over on the back side. So a little bit of a split map here, but with Boston, 5 lives to the good. You don't hate to see it from them.
Good patience from Purge. Pushed back. Going to give himself a chance to try to find more, but CleanX does get the trade. Snoopy trying to make sure Kleenex can't get away, but he slipped the net, found Cammy over the A zone. And that second tick at A still lurking, teasing Boston to jump onto the point. And Snoopy will need to make a decision here of do you want to play for the zone or play for the kills, looking at a 12v9.
Well, you can already see that they know he's still out. Joe Deceives has really gotten this one under lock and key over towards the backside, expecting Snoopy to be somewhere. And there you go, he's been spotted, should be dead to rights. Tough gunfight, trying to survive, gets a hold of it. That is massive from Snoopy. Still the presence there. The rest of the team find a couple of kills as well. One more opportunity for Boston, one final roll of the dice.
Yeah, touching the zone. Snoopy now putting the pressure over towards the double doors off the reload.
Got a kill.
Insight's got one through connector. Big finesse right here from Snoop, but no. Movistar Koi clean things up with 3 kills in a row, stopping the progress just before that second tick gets cleaned up. And now doing a little bit of depletion just to make sure any last-ditch effort for Boston is a little bit more stressful towards completing the point over the top. Kleenex has 8 in a row to finish off that defense that Movistar Koi only allow 4 ticks to come through.
Really, really good way. Honestly, I love the plays from Snoopy doing everything he possibly can, but the rest of the team not able to find a great deal. As soon as they get rid of him, no, that's the tip of the spear gone. Then for the, I mean, look, I just want to give the credit to Movistar there because there was a lot of time they wanted pressure, especially over towards the B side. You got to give the credit to Boston as well for solidifying that. But as soon as you get that map control, and that's why I was saying at the time where it was attacking on 2 different fronts. You're seeing a couple players over towards A, they only want to B. Don't have many resources in the middle of the map that allows Movistar to get that map control, allows them to put them in that spawn trap. Yes, okay, Snoopy does great, but not good enough. He's going to do it all on his own, though.
I mean, we feel like we've seen that so many times over the last couple of months where one offensive player is through. They're trying to do what they can to finesse, trying to pull the defense back. Like, yeah, exactly. It's just you're able to do everything, it feels like, in that position. Abe, good first blood in this round. Purge following up, and there will be trades. First tick being worked down by Joe Deceives. Insight over the top, giving him a little bit of assistance, but not enough help for Joe to continue to make the play. So he'll back up, wait for teammates, and try again.
Any inroads being made quite yet. Joe just continuing to, well, thrive as best he can up top. It's been received, but this is okay. As long as they don't just kind of drop 4 men down.
Unreal.
Ridiculous movement from Joe. Expecting the pressure to come through. Is he going to help try and deal with Snoopy? Tried. Wasn't quite able to solve that one. Oh, Pod. Doesn't get away. Purge is out and very much alive and kicking. Kleenex will find a way out as well, but Movistar struggling at this moment in time to really get out of the spawn.
Yeah, down 3 lives, down to 35 seconds to fight. And not finding any success on either zone except for their opening breakoff, which got them about half that progress on A. Clean shots from Kleenex, but can't best Purge on the bunny hop. Joe will finish off to get the trade, but trades are not going to be good enough here for Movistar. They need to find something significant. They need to find it quickly.
They almost need to slow down, but they don't have the time to. They put the pressure in, they need to find something. Attack has looked extremely lackluster here. Now all of a sudden Boston can just push themselves over towards that B point. Make Movistar have to panic and get a touch over towards this A side. It's going to be a mission impossible, you would like to think. Big fight's being won though, there's 3 dead. You get a stack here, maybe you can extend this time, but still a lot to be done.
Cammy shut down as Abe gets off the point to try to play for kills. Awakening not noticed, should be an easy double for him, and that will likely win the round as Big Wake finds 3. So only, what, a single tick of progress responded to there for Movistar Koi, so major advantage to the first 2 attacks, or first 2 attacking rounds, I should say, for Boston.
3 ticks is the advantage for Boston. They will take that all day long. But I felt like it was a little disjointed, I want to say, from Movistar in that round. It does feel as if they're reaching for an opportunity rather than trying to create it together. Looking for those individual players like Joe was skirting around the map, but it's tough. Yeah, you get to this moment, okay, yeah, great, well played from Awakening, but in that moment there for Movistar, they've left it far too little and far too late.
Another level of also just giving credit to Snoopy and Purge for playing opposite sides of the map and just keeping Movistar Koi uncomfortable coming out of spawn. Next offensive look for Boston. Largely over towards B. Cammy able to help out to give Snoopy some space to run with. And when I say run, I mean at a full sprint. He's going to play forward on the cross. Big win there from Purge, has Boston freely supporting B. Snoopy does get pushed back off of this deep angle, nades the follow, but this should be at least 2 ticks, you would think, for Boston.
Just seem much more adept at these opening breaks. And that's what's helping them at this stage. They can get in over towards B. They can extend that time. They can force Movistar to have to come to them over this side. Try and get something going. Not going to work out this time.
What a retake.
Yeah, Purge is in a tough spot here. He kind of has to move forward. Yeah, it's going to get the kill. That's okay. Not too bad. 2 ticks come through. Close spawns here for Boston. They can have another go.
Contests possible to come through. CleanX is looking for crossers as Snoopy will catch him in the window. But Joe down low has done well. Depletes just about all of the third tick of progress with Abe trying to follow up, and he will do nicely. One more on the backside of fences. Tags are on to Purge. CleanX finishes, and all of a sudden, Movistar Koi have a 2-life edge and a chance to start moving forward on the map.
Yeah, that second wipe's going to hurt. Thankfully for Boston, Movistar went maybe, what, 20 feet further forward, or they're in a lot of trouble. CleanX now can set up over towards his backside. Needs to find a kill if he can. Cannot. Stripe kill feed. That's okay for the defensive side. Boston without the numbers to really wreak havoc yet.
Nice finesse from Abe. Keeps Purge away from a trade. And he gets caught bottom fountain. Huge snap. So Deceives on 4. Make it 5. Killing spree for him. Has Awakening on the cross. Doesn't hit the initial shots, but trust that CleanX can finish him off, and there's no problems there. Wow. So add 2 more ticks to the mix. 5 in total, the advantage right now for Boston, but a convincing follow-up defense after the initial pressure for Boston. Not once, but twice for Movistar Koi.
Did well on the rebuff, to be honest with you. It's like, what, 4 dead on 2 separate occasions. They are able to shove them out. That really does make the difference. Now, from then on out, it's really, really difficult. It plays his life incredibly well, though. He's had a fantastic series. That we were, as mentioned, kind of talking to the chat. I remember seeing at least the first map of that series. I think we were possibly in the middle of something whilst that was going on, and just to see him in that first map have a pretty decent side of things, I was thinking, oh, you know, he's had a really good day. But this series in particular has been absolutely brilliant up against Boston.
I just have to say it. This reminds me a lot of the first 2 series from Hercules when he played with Toronto at the Major. Because it was like the first series was like, all right, he's hanging. And the second series, he started to really wake up and, you know, it looks like he'd figured it out. Kind of the same situation. The only difference was, if I'm not mistaken, Toronto lost that series that they played with Hercules, the first one, and then came back and obviously made a bit of a run. Memory's not so good. I'm old. But regardless of it, I do remember that being the case, and that seems to be being replicated by Abe here.
Needs to be replicated in this round, though.
I'll say.
Right now, Boston running the show. Barely got a spawn if you Movistar. Boston the ones who really do need this round, of course. Nice players coming through from Purge. It's looking more and more likely that Boston will have the defensive side. Movistar really haven't had much luck on the attacking side, and this may be where their problems really do lie on Hacienda.
Yeah, one of the reasons maybe for them being a hard veto on this map.
Yeah.
I will say,
slow.
Yeah, I was about to say, it looks really slow. I think the other side of it is, you know, Boston, we talked about their long streak of losses in Control. When they had started finding success, it felt like a lot of it was being generated by the defensive side on Hacienda. So looking like that might be the case once again. Down to 17 seconds. Clock comes to a pause with Joe on A. It looks like actually Movistar Koi may just try to let that be where this offense develops from. Team Nade comes out. Cammy going to be in a little bit of trouble here. And yeah, you're going to get the first tick, maybe more if you can stack onto A here.
Find themselves 5 ticks behind. Could do with finding a couple here. Mind you, could they do with just finding the round and closing it out? I'm sure they love to. Oh, can't quite finish that one. One weak play over towards the A side, but Insight trying to get something going over towards his B side. Could do with surviving, just stops the time. That might just be as valuable. Insight again, though. The pistol comes out. Opportunity for Movistar over towards B.
Yeah, late trophy system. You got a little bit of forward pressure from Abe. Gets a read on the Snoopy. Yep, he knows he's outside the map. Time is going to tick away on Snoopy's extended play. And now 2 ticks at B come through. Chance at an extra 60 seconds and maybe the round and the map if they can find a way to get back to A quickly, which CleanX is already here.
Gotta be careful though. Coming in the pressure over from the top side.
Oh!
No Deceives will have that one all day long though, and you question, does Purge need to be challenged? That? Can we just stay alive? Because right now, Boston are struggling at doing that. They were in such a commanding position, and all of a sudden, Movistar may well have just closed the series out.
It's just on to Snoopy up top. He's gotten some good damage, finds himself a double. The contest is in last second, and oh, mercy me. Boston will survive through at least this part of the round. But it's not done yet. They get a little bit of depletion, but they're down 3 lives, and Movistar Koi are quick off the spawn.
Yeah, they're still keeping that pressure on. They got to go now. They're going to jump inside of the point. Boston need to do something quick.
Another contest, this time from Wake. Traded by Kleenex. Still plenty of time if Movistar Koi want to play for the kills. Is this where the coach comms come into play? Long route started to develop on both sides as now Boston get us back to a 1 life edge.
Joe looking for something, sniffing them out. He will be the guy, he will be the catalyst. Let's go. Let's see it. Can Movistar find a way through?
What a route. Brilliant route here from Joe. Shuts down Snoopy on the low ground. Awakening. Last one standing. Kleenex finds the kill. Purge has to sprint, has to run. Won't get there in time. Try and dive as he may. Movistar Koi, with the recent pickup of another young, promising gun, find themselves into the playoff bracket in really darn convincing form.
Some of those rounds extremely close, though. It feels like Movistar were waiting for their moment to step themselves up, and they did it at the right time. Oh, a little bit of smack talk there on the stage as well. But you like to see it. Everybody involved, everyone passionate about that one. Chat between former teammates and friends. But ultimately, Movistar will come out the right side of that one, a 3-0 win for them to close out what has been a mammoth